Hi, I'm Shawn Lynch. I'm joined by Shawn Jansen, and this is the Shawn and Shawn Show. We made it to the end. Last week of the regular season. Got a little drenched along the way last week.
Yeah, I think I'm still drying off from Friday night. Didn't exactly have rain gear out at my game. I'd grabbed a hooded jacket. It just happened to be a cotton jacket, so that thing weighed an extra 15 pounds at the end of the night.
I heard the suggestions out there that you be branded the brown hoodie.
Yeah, to rival the black hat out there, but some interesting games due to the weather. I mean, we saw some crazy scores. Merced beating Turlock 10-7. Some upsets that we didn't think were possible, but the rain was a great equalizer.
Yeah, you got a 7-6 game between Gustine and Delhi. Los Banos and Central Valley, all their points came in the second quarter of a 14-6 game, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, Mother Nature was the universal equalizer for a lot of teams out there.
And especially for journalists, show them your stat book that survived the rain.
Well, I don't know that survived. I gave up pretty much by the end of the third quarter. Here you can see, after that, it's all just like little indentions where there's no ink. But, fortunately, it was one of those games where you could just kind of talk about the scoring and the major plays there and not have to worry about the stats to back too much up. So.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't even worth writing down when I was doing the interviews. I just had to use the video camera and go off that when I wrote my story from Merced. So for dry weather this week.
Yeah. And for those of you who are fans of our sights and sounds, neither of us wanted to risk the cameras out in the rain, so there won't be any of those this week. So we're just going to press on and get right into the nitty-gritty. 12-7 game out at Turlock.
10-7.
10-7, sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't even that high scoring.
Even in the elements, I don't think anybody saw that score.
I think before I left for Turlock that night, I went into like our agate folder where we keep our boxes, and I kind of put a predicted score for the game, and I think I put like Merced 42-23 over Turlock. I was not close. 10-7 there. Interesting game. Just a defense, but great performance by Merced defense, keeping Turlock out of the end zone for the most part. Had to fight off some early turnovers that the offense put them in bad situations. Merced just shut them down. Merced falls behind 7-0. Then on the last play of the first half, it looked like Merced was running out the clock with about 10 seconds left. Turlock had no timeouts. They hand off the ball to Jabar Byrd. He breaks free for a 40-yard touchdown. Talk about a guy that comes through with plays when Merced really needs him. He did that against Buac Colony, scoring 2 touchdowns in the second quarter last week. He gets them on the board, gets them momentum going into the half. They get a field goal in the third quarter, and then that's the difference in the ball game. Merced clinches at least a share of the CCC title for the second straight year.
Far tougher road than I'm sure they imagined it was going to be. Like you said, that just tough handing onto the ball, and there was no passing game for either team for most of the night.
No, mostly it was just ground and pound and try not to make mistakes, play field position, trust your defense, and just grind it out.
Is it a little disappointing, you think, given how much build-up there was towards that game, to kind of have it influenced like that by the weather?
I was glad it was a quick game as well as I was. I didn't care. I was happy to see. It's always fun to see some of our teams when they get to celebrate. And you could see it was just a special moment for some of the players from Merced. And Rob Scheidt talked about that. Talked about how these players are going to remember it more because of the adversity that they had to face playing on the road, playing in the rain, playing in the elements, and just the type of the game. But here's Jabar Byrd and Rob Scheidt talking about that win after Friday night's victory. Talk about the 40-yard touchdown run right before half. How big was that for you guys going in the locker room to get this game tied with the way that first half went?
It was a huge momentum boost, I mean, we started out slow, but that's okay. We picked it up and we overcame adversity. That's all I could ask for.
This wasn't pretty. It's not like a 48-6 win. This was just grind it out and do what you can, get out of here with the win.
Smash mouth football. You see the conditions, pouring rain. We just had to make a statement. We had to get the W, and that's what we did.
How does it feel to be CCC champs?
It feels great. CCC champs. Merced high.
Guys, classical football game, right? I mean, and that's good. It's awkward for us. It's hard for me to call plays. It's hard, so early on, everybody wants to just go, and you guys say, hey, look, we just got to trust each other. There's no, all this stuff got thrown out, and we got to grind the football and make plays and block people and possess the football and play field position. And I kind of lost sight of that early in the first half. Luckily, our defense bailed us out, but it's just one of those games where our kids will never forget it. And I'm really excited that they have that memory. It's not obviously it's a championship, but because of the adverse conditions, it made it even more special for them.
I asked AJ at one point during the game, when's the last time you played in the rain? He goes, I've never played in the rain.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of our guys. I mean, literally, they have not played in the rain. So, and we need the rain, so I'm not going to pray that it stop. Just let it come. And I thought maybe we'd get a break in the second half so we could show what we could do, but that wasn't in the cards. So.
Again, talk about the defense coming through with the stops when they needed, big turnovers inside the 10.
You just felt like, to me, on the sidelines, you just felt our defense just getting confident, saying, we're going to win the game. And and our offense doing all, we said from the opening kickoff, look, let's don't do anything but change the field position. And if we can do that, then let's see what our defense can do. And that's what our guys did. And that was really special. And then Fabian's kick. I mean, these are not easy conditions to get a snap and a hold, and I don't know what it was, a 30-yard field goal, but for a first-time guy to win a championship with that kick is pretty awesome.
You talked about dressing in a shed, no showers. I mean, the conditions, it was just, I guess it set the tone for what was going to be tonight.
You know what? I was upset. I'll be honest with you. I walked over, this is not right, and then our guys were laughing. They were just laughing, and I think that was the right response. So. And I don't personally like to play. There's coaches. Let's grind it out. And all. I don't like that kind of game. I'd rather have it sunny and fast and rain all the way up to the game and then let us.
You're
play.
not an SEC guy. You're a Big 12.
Yeah. I don't know. It's let's air it out and have fun. But anyway, it's good.
Cool. All right, let's go to the game you were at. Livingston was at Patterson, kind of their playoff life hanging in the balance there. They went in with a 5-4 record. And just couldn't get it done against Patterson's speed in the rain.
Yeah, you were talking about kind of the joy of victory in that rain-soaked night. Mine was more the agony of defeat. Just not the game that Livingston was expecting to produce. The weather really affected them. They put 8 balls on the ground in that game, lost 3 of them, a couple while they were really driving into Patterson territory. And then Patterson's playmakers, led by Demario Hammonds, just tremendous speed. And if you gave them any space in the open field, they made something happen with some long touchdowns. It was fairly close early on. Little bit of misfortune for Livingston. Jorge Torres probably should have had a pick 6 in the opening series of the game for Patterson. It was kind of a pass out towards the flat, and he was the defensive end. Leapt in the air, swatted the ball, and the referee just thought the ball was going instantly to the ground, then blew the whistle immediately. And the ball seemed to defy physics and somehow end up in his hands, and there was nobody within 20 yards of him. He would have walked into the end zone. So a little bit of misfortune there. They had it at 20-13 at one point in time, but that was really as close as they got. A kickoff return to start the second half really kind of sealed their fate there and took any chance for a second half comeback away. Still a very nice season for Livingston. They go 5-5, coming off of the 1-9 season, and we're pretty much competitive in every single WAC game, which is all you can ask for. So
yeah, it's got to be tough for them because they were so close to getting that playoff.
Yeah,
berth. They just couldn't get that big win over Central Valley or Los Banos, Pacheco, Patterson. It was just right there in front of them. Just a tough way to finish the season, but a good start, moving in the right direction for the Wolves.
Yeah, you got to be encouraged by Coach Gonzalez's first season out there, and I liked what I saw. They got good participation across the board in terms of their lower levels, and we'll see what we can expect from them in the future.
So Los Banos gets a win last week. That sets up a big game this week against Pacheco for the WAC title. LeGrand kind of struggled in their game against Denair, but they win to clinch at least a share of the Southern League title, with Mariposa getting upset by Ripon Christian 24-0.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that score line coming, even in the rain. I mean, that was a pretty good old-fashioned whooping right there. So, yes, it takes a little luster out of the Green and Gold Bowl this week, but Mariposa and LeGrand aren't very good at sharing, so there's no chance LeGrand wants to let Mariposa grab a share of the title there. So they'll be looking for the outright title for I want to say the 4th straight year.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and talk about rivalry week this week. Let's start with the crosstown clash. Both teams coming in on winning streaks. Undefeated in conference. It's all on the line here. Pacheco was kind of the preseason favorite, but then Los Banos kind of turned heads with their win at Patterson in overtime. How do you see this game going?
I think we've said Pacheco from the beginning of the year, and I think I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, I saw Los Banos a couple weeks ago in that overtime victory over Livingston. I think they're a team that's done a good, steady job of progressing each week and getting a little better each time out. But I still think I like the physicality of Pacheco in this one. Both sides of the ball, they can pound the ball on the ground, and they got punishing linebackers on the defensive side. So I think I'm going to stick with our preseason pick there and go with Pacheco.
I like that Pacheco had a bye going into this game.
Yeah, 2 weeks to prepare. you definitely got to like that.
2 weeks to prepare, a chance to get healthy here, especially at the end of the season. I think that's going to give Pacheco an advantage. They got the playmakers on offense. They got the physicality on defense. I'm going to go with Pacheco, but I think this one's going to be a battle down to the end, especially when you get rivalries in a game like this. I expect a close game within a touchdown here, but I'll go with the Panthers there. I think we're both going with Merced in the battle for the Mayor's Cup here. Merced, chance to get their offense going here after a couple weeks
two
of
tough
struggling.
weeks in a row. They're definitely going to want to do that. And Golden Valley's done a nice job the last few years of really making that Merced offense struggle in the first half before they've kind of pulled away. So I imagine they're going to want a fast start on that one.
Yeah, and you got to, Golden Valley's still winless, but it was very surprising to see their score against Buhack Colony. They were up 19-17 in the first half. That team has not quit.
No.
They're still out there playing hard, and you got to give them credit for that. I just think they're overmatched in this matchup with the athletes that Merced's going to run out there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think the same could probably be said for Buhack Colony and Atwater. I think athlete-wise and experience-wise, Buhack has the edge. But as you pointed out, they're not a team that's exactly powering through to the finish here. That they're struggling a little bit. You see any room for Atwater to come in and pull an upset here?
No, I would go with Buhack here. We had talked about Buhack possibly getting in with 5 wins, possibly making the playoffs. It doesn't look like that's going to happen now after talking to the section office. Talked to the director of communications, Will DeBoer, earlier this week. It looks like you're probably going to need 6 wins, and even if there is a couple 5-win teams, I don't know that Buhack Colony's opponent's win level is going to be up there, because you look at 2 teams on their schedule are winless in El Cap and Golden Valley, so they're probably not going to measure up to some of the other schools that, if they do finish with 5 wins, say in Oak Ridge, they'll probably fall short in that regard. Yeah,
I like Buhack Colony here, but I feel like for whatever reason with the Bloss Bowl, it always gets decided in the fourth quarter. It's almost always a one-score game, so you could expect that one to probably be a little tighter.
Green and Gold Bowl, this game could be interesting, and I think out of all these, this one could go either way with Mariposa playing at home, coming off a loss. I think they're going to be ready for LeGrand.
Yeah, no, I got to agree with that, but, we've been on the LeGrand bandwagon the whole time. I still feel until somebody knocks them off, they're the team you go with. Really like what they've been doing with their running game. Iniguez, I think you said he was right around 200 yards rushing last week in the rain. He seems like a mutter. He seems like somebody who would do well there. Christian Williams, they found a nice balance. He's really been getting involved in the offense, and I think they've been there before. They got the experience, and they're not afraid to go play in Mariposa. I think they've won there the last 2 trips out to Mariposa, so I'm going to stick with LeGrand.
A big game for both these teams as far as playoff seedings.
Yeah.
Looking at the possible brackets here for Division 5, there's going to be some tough teams in this bracket, it looks like, and LeGrand if they can get a top 2, top 3 seed.
8 and 2 is going to be big for them if they can hold on.
Yeah, big difference between 8 and 2 and 7 and 3. So I like LeGrand here, but again, I think this is going to be a dogfight down to the end, possible 3-point game here, but Bulldogs by a nose.
I'll stick with. I'll agree with it.
All right, that's going to do it for our show this week. The brackets will be announced on Saturday, so you can look online. We'll be tweeting out the matchups on Saturday as we learn them and the brackets go up. And then look for more coverage. Playoffs start next week.